What's up, guys? It's your boy Flea. Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, I just kind of wanted to do like a proper introduction on Lola, aka my E46 Sedan concept. I've been posting a lot about the car on TikTok, Instagram, and for those who have been watching, I've been posting here and there on the YouTube shorts. Little by little, I want to get back into like recording, see more in depth of the build, get a broader scene of what's going on versus me just giving you guys little chop ups here on TikTok, here on Instagram Reels, little photos here and there. So I figured, like, if I'm already doing all that, why not just, fully just take it to YouTube? And pretty much, like I said, I'm just trying to give you guys an introduction of the car. A lot has been done. For example, TikTok has seen this car from stock to where it is now. You guys haven't really seen much. I basically just been giving you guys little like snippets here and there, but now I kind of want to give you guys like the full taste of what's going on. Right now, pretty much just trying to get it ready to make it to Gatlinburg. I was supposed to be on 3 pieces and everything for Gat. Don't even think that's going to be possible just because we got to do the cooling system, and there's certain last minute things that I decided to change. Like, I'm changing stuff on the front, suspension, upgrading, swapping certain parts out. I still have to do a ton of work on the rear. I still have to reinforce the rear subframe. I still have to do bushings. I still have to do trailing arm bushings. It's a bunch of things that still have to get done. I have to finish freaking connecting the fuel cell system. Like, it's a whole bunch of things that have to get done, and I have 2 months. But anyways, like I was saying, let's get into the build. So pretty much what I have here is your typical 325i. Everyone thought it was a 330. But I swapped out the front knuckles to 330. It basically welded itself inside the freaking knuckle. So yeah, had to get new ones. Here's a 325i. We basically have a M54 V25, but it's a 2.5 liter instead of the regular 3.0 that everyone, boosts and everything. Inline 6. Upgraded aluminum valve cover. So this is from ECS. It's the Bremen one. Still stock injectors. I know wires, if you guys can see, let me bring you guys a little closer actually. Wires are everywhere. For right now, I will be electric wrapping them and heat wrapping them because everyone knows BMW runs hot. We have upgraded Dynon M55 coil pack. Dynon coil pack, like I said, I believe they're for the M55 motor. New spark plugs, obviously. Take it to the header side. We have, it came off through a couple heat cycles and they're changing their color, but I think it's Schiedman or something like that. I will put the link to all the parts in the description below. Over here we have Pullman Motorsports EGR / secondary air pump delete block plate right there, and then we have, if you guys can see, get that closer, right there we have Condor Speed Shop raised polyurethane, I believe they are, motor mounts. So it's raised I think 5 millimeters. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. And then I have the my UPS guy. And we have the Bevanese power steering cap, which replaces the stock one because everyone knows the stock one leaks. So it's replaced with the stock cap. You put this one over screwed on, and then you have this cap. But I will warn you guys, this hole right here still will leak power steering fluid. So I'm warning you guys now. If you get this, I will drop the link in the description below. Race German sells a part, a kit of like $30 plus shipping, obviously. That basically makes an overflow reservoir. You can pretty much mock it up however you want to. This will leak just to reposition the car slightly. And literally, alternator over here, like this whole area was just covered in fucking power steering fluid. So I'm just letting you guys know, if you do get this, that's one of the issues you will run into. So we also have the M50 manifold from the E46. I'm running the adapter kit from Tech 53. So with that, you get your plate. They give you these little brackets. They didn't come with the screws for it, or maybe I lost the screws. I can't really fully remember. but I just put random screws in there. I don't care. I'm not really popping my hood for anyone at any shows. But yeah, so that way you're able to secure the injector rail and not have it moving. Like I'm literally moving the car right now and they're not moving. So it keeps them seated in place. It also comes, I don't know if you guys can see it, hopefully silver pieces right there. Comes with the kit, which I do recommend using. Haven't had any issues, haven't had any leaks, haven't had any problems. Granted, I did change and buy new seals for the intake runners and the throttle body, as well as there's new hardware that I used to bolt the intake manifold in. And yes, we did do the taps, oil catch can. I didn't really talk about it, but oil catch can, I have it routed here. This is basically going in through here. It has a filter and everything through it. It's not like an open oil catch can that's just catching oil vapors. There's an active filter inside of this catch can. So it is getting filtered before it even comes through here. So basically oil catch can comes in, boom, comes out, recirculates back into the intake manifold. Some people vent its atmosphere. I still have the fit-in for it, which is actually right there. I actually had running issues. I don't know if that was the reason for my running issues, because currently I do have Vanos problems, which I'll be doing a video on that too, which like I know there's a shit ton of videos out there already, but I'm doing my own video. So yeah, stay tuned for that. If you guys haven't already been able to tell, we have SLR top hats flipped for more camber. But boing. I got these plates from Drift HQ. I basically cut and adjusted them to fit twice. So basically this was that side, that was this side. Once I flipped them, I basically had to flip it around out of that XYZ. Basically we're on BC coilovers. Currently we're on 20K spring rate in the front. We have the SLR top hats. And then right now I'm on E46 lowers that were extended right there. You guys can see the BCs. Extended E36 lowers. They said it was extended 1.5 inches. Bought them used. I got them for a deal with the top hats for like $300. So it was like a no fucking brainer 2-for-1 special. The inner and outer tie rods, so the outers are E46 outers, the inners are E90. We have E46 M3 mirrors for headlights. These weren't like this. If I can, I'll drop a stitch in the video, show you guys how these looked prior. One of them was all chrome, and then one had the yellow. I opened them up, rebuilt them, put new halos in them, blacked them out, kept it simple. This hood came off of convertible. The front bumper, what it came off of, M3. Front fenders, M3, except here, this cutout is from a non-M, which I had to buy two non-M fenders and 2 E46 M3 fenders, and basically measure, cut, and weld with my boy, and we got it on. But this was a mock-up. This isn't what I'm gonna be running. For GAT, maybe, because it's all I have right now, and I'm on a time crunch, so maybe. But for the most part, that's how I achieved the fenders. It was basically boom, E46 M3, non-M E46. It's crazy because even like on social media and everything, everyone thinks it's a non-M hood for some odd apparent reason. And it's crazy because you can clearly see the bump. I don't even have to even come up to the car, you know, show it off, whatever. In the pictures, you can clearly see the M3 bump, you know, but to each his own, I'm just saying. But anyways, back to the car. We have E46 M3 mirrors. We do have E46 M3 side skirts as well. There's nothing M3 on the inside, but for those who don't know, this car used to be an automatic. I did a manual swap. Pedals right there. That's another reason why everything is still apart too, is because did manual swap, did everything, and just basically been building the car since. Quarters. So we have M3 spec. They were over fenders that I cut and shaved down to the point where the only part of the over fender that I got put to the chassis is here. And like right there to there. A little crack right here that has surfaced. Close to where the kit seams. It might be where the kit seams, but there's a little crack right here, you know? Mind you, I had already repaired one crack here, I think one here, and another one somewhere over here. Cool. And then when I repaired those three, I repaired this one that's starting again over here. I'm gonna have to repair them again prior to us going to GAT. Since it's the second time this issue has risen, I'm at the point that I just would like to get the actual M3 quarters cut and welded into the chassis. And then over here, only in this one little spot, I've been having this little seam issue. Same thing, spoiler pretty much lifting off of the chassis in that spot. One thing I can say, before it was the whole thing. Right now, it's pretty much just a seam right here. It started here and it's seaming. So basically, I'm just allowing it to just crack. That's when I'm gonna attack that area. Hopefully, that will be the last of it. If anything happens before or while it's wrapped, we're gonna go full Sedan CSL carbon trunk. And then obviously, like I said, we're gonna go full on metal to metal. We have Sedan E46 M3 LED style rear tails with a CSL style duckbill that I molded in. This side has been the perfect side. I'm not trying to jinx it or anything. This side over here has not given me any issues at all. No cracks, no issues, nothing. And if you guys haven't noticed there's something missing over here, if you guys haven't noticed it, I'm just gonna say it, the gas tank used to be right here. Covered it up. We don't need a gas tank, we have a fuel cell. Fuel cell is in the trunk. A quick rundown on the fuel cell setup. It's a 15-gallon tank. The Sedan comes stock from factory with a 16.6 gallon tank. So we're only losing 1.6 gallons of a 15-gallon fuel cell. So underneath the fuel cell, I actually have a shut valve before the fuel goes into the fuel filter. And I have a lift pump after the fuel filter that pulls that fuel into the surge tank right there. So then obviously the surge tank contains the high pressure fuel pump, the one that pretty much does the majority of the work, sends it to the fuel rail, So we have the line obviously coming in from the bottom here, underneath, runs in through here. This floor is a mock-up. I'm not going to keep it on this floor. Some people do keep it on their stock trunk floor. I won't. But yeah, so this is the feed. Once it goes into the surge tank, it feeds into the in tank. I didn't make any cuts or anything. I just sent it through the body. So like I said, I ran it through the body. So it runs underneath the seat through here. So one is the feed and one is the return line. So I basically ran it through the OEM system. It runs down, like literally, stock tank is here. So I run it through right down here, and then it follows the stock lines all the way up underneath the car's engine. So pretty much the only part of the lines that ever run through the chassis is here, because I just didn't want to drill any holes into like the rear floor, rear subframe like that. It runs underneath the chassis, comes all the way, and then probably looking like, where's the lines? You lift this, still can't really see the lines. And the zip tie right here is pretty much where the lines are being housed. This is the factory line right here. So I'm coming up right on top of them. They coming up right underneath there. It comes up into the system with that push connect. I don't like that push connect. That's another reason why I am not using a stock fuel rail after this. But yeah, so it comes up right there. My lines are right here. Goes all the way over underneath the AC lines into the two ports I drilled right there. So obviously the top one is the feed, the bottom is the return. Feeds in, boom, comes in through here, comes right back out, and then you see my hand. And this is basically sitting here waiting for the new fuel rail and everything to obviously connect to it and run. So that's the fuel cell. Pretty much the majority of what's going on with the car, just to give you guys a brief catch up. The rear suspension, I didn't talk about it, didn't I? So the rear, obviously you guys probably saw we have a Part Shop Max BBM 4-point rear strut bar. And right now it's only being used as a 2-point once I do my subframe, because I do have their solid subframe bushings and the ones that allow me to lift the subframe as well. So we will be lifting the subframe. Once I do that, I'll be allowed to full on use the 4-point, and it'll connect into the subframe and pretty much give the rear chassis proper rigidity. Once we do that, we'll be cutting out the spare tire well, redoing the floor, welding in a new floor for the tank. Basically, use this mock-up for the metal floor, rerun everything onto the metal floor once it's welded in. Like I said, reinforce that. And all while we're doing all of that, we're gonna be reinforcing the chassis because it hasn't been done yet. This was a 1 or 2 owner car, I forget. I'm either the 2nd or 3rd owner of this car. And remember guys, this car was automatic before me. So this car was never abused. It was automatic. Rear suspension is, like I said, BC coilovers, 20K in the front, 18K in the rear. 18K is gonna be swapped out probably sometime next week to 42K or 43K spring rate. So we have lowers and adjustable uppers while we're still on the stock divorced setup.
which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to see how low I could go on a divorce setup. So obviously you can see the strut is actually tilted with the fucking camber. PBM lowers with FDF, Formula Drift or whatever they call themselves, race shop uppers, adjustable. Right now the sway bar is connected, but we're gonna be going with a different one that's meant for lowered cars, because you can already tell it's gonna be binding on the fucking lower. We also have axle spacers from Six Shop based in the UK, because they were the only ones that had a 10 millimeter.
And I think the last thing too is the OEM E46 M3 bumper. But for the most part, that's pretty much the setup for now. I would start the car, let you guys hear it, but like I said, I'm dealing with Vanos issues. Don't really want to put any more stress on the bad one right now. Swapped out the Vanos line. Rear main seal was done. So I already made a video on the rear main seal, so you guys already know the rear main seal was done. Almost all the transmission service was done. We got a new Gibo in there, ZF drive shaft. It's a list of stuff, guys.